Does it make sense for your library to have separate logos for your main services? It's a fascinating question sent in by a viewer of the Library Marketing Show. I'm going to give you some things to think about before you create a new logo ahead in this episode of the Library Marketing Show. Hi, everyone. I'm Angela Hursh from superlibrarymarketing.com. Head on over there, scroll to the bottom left-hand corner, and you can sign up to get a notification every time I post. Also, you can nominate your library or someone else's library for our Kudos Award. I like to highlight libraries doing fun and interesting things. You can do that by looking for the Library Marketing Show tab. Speaking of our Kudos Award, we're going to start today's episode with Kudos, which is going to the Vernon Area Public Library in Lincolnshire, Illinois. They have had a political scientist in residence for the past year to help their patrons successfully navigate and engage with the 2024 election cycle here in the United States. You probably know we're going to be electing a president in a few weeks. So this is a great program to really help patrons because elections are complicated. Democracy is complicated. And this is a fantastic idea. At some point, there's going to be an article about this in the Library Journal. If it's published by the time I publish this episode, I will put a link down below. If not, I want you to keep an eye out, maybe follow Library Journal on social media so you know when this article is published and you can read more about it. Let's get into today's topic. It is a viewer question. This viewer wrote in and asked, how do you feel about library specialty brands? We have a main brand, and then we do have several specialty logos that have been designed for distinct service areas. What are your thoughts on this? Great question. Thank you for asking. When I worked at the Cincinnati Library, we had one distinct logo that I can recall for an area, and that was the Makerspace logo. So there are opportunities. We shied away from doing specialty logos for a couple of reasons. I'm going to share both the opportunities and the things to think about that might give you pause in this episode. So let's get into the opportunities first. First of all, obviously, a logo lets you do targeted branding for those distinct service areas. That can really make it easier for your community to recognize and connect with that specific library offering. For example, a Makerspace logo that is designed to engage and appeal to DIYers and tech enthusiasts also differentiates that particular service area and makes it more memorable when you're creating marketing materials, online and offline. It can be really helpful when you're doing social media or targeted campaigns. So those are the opportunities. Now the things that may cause you pause or you want to think about before you create a specialty logo. First of all, there's something called brand dilution, which just basically means if you have too many specialty logos, you can dilute your overall library brand. I think this is particularly problematic for large library systems with lots of branches and lots of services. Because if patrons see too many different logos, they can be confusing. They may not recognize that that service is something that the library provides. It gets very fragmented. The second thing, and I almost think this to me is more of a problem, is consistency. It can be really challenging to maintain a consistent look and feel across all those specialty logos while you ensure that everything is aligning with your main brand identity. You're going to have to do oversight. You may have to devote design resources to this, to auditing, just to make sure that all those logos are visually connected to your library. That takes time and energy. That's something to consider. So this is my recommendation. I do support specialty logos as long as they are thoughtfully designed and they align with your library's main brand. I am really curious what my viewers think about this. Do you have specialty logos, and can you share some examples for my viewer below? Also, let me know if you have specialty logos, why you created them, and have you seen any pros or cons? Let's get a conversation started down in the comments. And that's it for this episode of the Library Marketing Show. My channel, though, is full of other tips for library marketing. If you want to keep learning, and I hope you do, head to this next video. I'll meet you there.